All right, welcome everyone to Heal Your Money Blocks workshop. Today we are going to unpack a little bit of what can happen when you feel that you're stuck. You either hit an income ceiling or you've been having some fluctuation in seeing your income and your money come in. Or also how these blocks can show up is that maybe you are able to call in a certain amount of money, but then something happened where you feel like your money are taken away from you always for a reason or another, so you are not able to hold it for longer period of times. So we're going to go through each one of these and see how we can release those blockages. So first of all, what is a money block? A money block can show up in any layer of the body, physical, emotional, mental, energetic, or spiritual. And if you are familiar with my manifestation teaching, I always pull up this chart where you can see that even if we are mostly familiar with the physical body, there is also other layer in our bodies, in every person's body. One is the etheric body or the energy body, the emotional layer, the mental layer, and the spiritual layer. So the money block can show up in more than one of these layers or in one specific, and it always depends on the person. So why we need to remove them, why we need to remove blockages? It prevents money from flowing to you, as we were saying, through you, so receiving and giving in balance, in harmony, or from you with ease. So maybe you are accumulating money and you are blocking this flow to come out, so maybe you can invest and create more wealth for yourself, or you feel very stressed when you have to spend money or invest money yourself, and so this is blocking your ability to grow and to experience life with joy. So money doesn't just respond to strategy, it responds to identity, your nervous system, your emotional regulation, your belief, and your capacity to receive. What it means. Identity is who you believe yourself to be, in general, but specifically here regarding to money. Do you believe yourself to be a good steward for money, being able to call in and spend money in a way that is aligned, in a way that is expensive, in a way that is enjoyable for you? How your nervous system is regulated towards money? How do you feel it in your body when you are receiving and when you are spending money? Emotional regulation, what kind of emotion you are experiencing while you are doing any of these activities, and your beliefs about money, what you believe money are, what you believe money do, and all of that. We have a lot of stories that come specifically not from us, but from the people that raised us, or even before, if it's ancestral, so they were already installed inside of us when we were born. But we can go into this a little bit later. And then your capacity to receive is very important, because a lot of people try to hustle more to receive more money and to obtain more wealth, when where the blockage is in their ability to receive more. So even if they create the experience where they can actually make more money for themselves, they are not able to actually make it happen, because they're not able to be open enough to receive it because of guilt, because again, these stories and the belief that are ingrained inside of us. So let's speak about physical blocks first. Physical blocks are behavioral, so it has a lot to do with how you behave with money. So actually how this is manifesting your reality, in the 3D reality. And it show up in what you do or avoiding doing. So some example can be you don't make clear offers, whatever it is that you're doing in your, whatever is your employment or your job. You underprice or over-explain yourself for why you're charging certain things. You avoid sending invoices when you need to get paid. You block people who will support you or pay you, right? You don't follow up. with people that are interested in working with you. You let opportunities expire. You wait too long before you make the sale or ask to get paid, etc. You don't create containers for money. So you don't create products, services, investments, sometimes even bank accounts where you can store and receive the money. So all these ways are possible when you have some money blockages. And if you see yourself in any of these, you might have some blockages in the physical that is a manifestation of what is stuck in other layers of your body. So one core question that I would like you to take 5 minutes of your time to respond is, if abundance knocked today, would it be somewhere to land? Will it have somewhere to land? So if your prayers, right, your dreams were fulfilled right now with the amount of money or the amount of abundance, and I say money, but abundance can come in many different ways. Can come with connections, can come with free things that you can receive, free trips, right? So will you be able to receive it? Will you have those structures? Money loves structures. Will you have those systems in place where you are able to let it land? And so take a few minutes to respond to that and see what comes out. That will already give you a lot of information and really give you an insight if your blockage is already manifesting in the physical. And again, if it's manifesting in the physical, it means that it's blocked also somewhere else that brought this manifestation in the physical to happen. So energetic blocks, scarcity energy versus abundance energy, right? One of the main things that you hear in the energy realm about scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. So money responds to your baseline state. So we all have a baseline where you see that, for example, once one person become a millionaire, there is a study that showed that during their lifetime, they are losing their money either for bankruptcy or for any other different reason, bad investments, about 3.5 times. And they still end up being millionaire and they still make the million again. And this is because their baseline state is set to the frequency of being a millionaire. Same thing though, if your baseline is set in a mindset of scarcity, so that, I don't know, your baseline is having $2,000 in your bank account, $1,000, $3 in your bank account, being under. If your baseline is that, you can receive any amount of money, but something will happen that will bring you back to that baseline state that you are comfortable with. So if we don't regulate our nervous system, if we don't regulate our energetic body to be able to hold more, to be able to hold what we are dreaming or what we are, what is our goal to receive, we will end up always losing and coming back to the specific baseline state. And that can manifest as a big amount of money come in, but also something breaking the house where you need to spend those money, or you have an emergency, a medical emergency where you have to spend those money, or there is anything specific that will come up for you to spend that amount of money because you are not able to hold it for a longer period of time. So there is also something very important to address on the energetic to be able to not only receive, but also be able to hold money for a longer period of times. So usually this scarcity energy is rooted in poverty mindset, in instability in childhood, in survival-based motivation. So none of that is our fault, right? We want to remove fault from all of these because that can create more confusion. But scarcity is a voice inside of us that says it's never enough, I have to hustle or I'll lose it. Once I get there, I finally feel safe. I don't know if you can recognize any of these thoughts and voice inside of you. So scarcity is a power motivator because when you feel scarce, you are pushed to do more, right? To make more money, to wake up and go find a new job or find a new hustle to receive more. But it never lets you arrive. And there are millionaires, multimillionaires that are still in scarcity mindset, and means that their feelings inside of them, no matter how much money their bank accounts show, haven't gone away. And so their suffering inside is not fulfilled from any achievement, any monetary achievement, and you keep hustling, you keep going, and you are keep hunted from this feeling that you will never be enough. And you can always find reason why it's never enough, right? You will increase your expenses, or you will think that, or compare yourself with somebody that has more. So there are many reasons where you can keep yourself in a loop of suffering, no matter how much money you're making. And so that is a signal that you're in the scarcity energy. Abundance energy instead says, I have enough, more is a bonus, I expand because I desire growth, not because I'm broken. And so you want more money, and you start from that desire, feeling already like you have everything you need. And that means that you have Wi-Fi, you have a laptop or a phone to be able to watch this recording, or you have social media, you have a way to go and meet people. Whatever it is that is the minimum for you to be able to survive, that's already what you need to be able to continue your journey. But if you see that not enough, well, you never see anything as enough. And so you want to really tap in, no matter how little it seems like what you have right now, and really see it as enough for you to be able to do more and expand. And everything that comes in, whatever is your goal financially, will come in, but you want to see that as a bonus. Like, if that comes, whenever that comes, it will give me a better life experience. However, I'm still happy and I still have everything I need right now. And so you come and you start your project, your interaction, with the energy of abundance, of being okay already, and everything comes is more. So you elevate your experience, of course, with more money, you increase freedom, you expand impact, but you see it's very different from what scarcity was saying before, that once I get there, I'll finally feel safe, right? I have to hustle or I'll lose it all. It's never enough. It's a very different voice. And it's a more supportive voice, and it's also the voice that is going to help you be able to get to your goal way faster. And so you want these things, you want this new level of abundance, not because you need it, but to feel safe, because you are already safe. And safety is something that you really need to establish inside yourself, because you believe that no matter what happens, you will have yourself, you have your back. And that is a process, and it's something that we build by finding evidence about what we accomplish in our life, writing a list of things that being accomplished, being grateful for what we already have, looking around and seeing the things that we already have. And that over time give your mind more and more evidence that you're already safe, that you already have everything you want, everything you need. And so everything else that comes is something that, yes, you might want to have a better experience, but it's not the reason that will give you safety, because you are already safe. Now, when we move into the emotional blocks, we talk about money EQ, right? Emotional intelligence with money. Everything that we do in general in life usually trigger an emotion, and money is also one of them. And for most of us that had traumas or experience that are not that positive in our childhood around money, can trigger very strong emotion that they can block the abundance to come in. So our emotional reaction to money determines our capacity also to hold it. I want you now to take a few minutes and reply to this question for yourself. Whatever it is, 5-10 minutes, you can pause this video and answer in your journal and ask yourself, what do I feel when someone say money? And here I put some emotion that might come up. So usually we find ourselves feeling this one, right? Shame, guilt, apathy, grief. Apathy, grief are a little bit more rare, but shame, guilt, fear, power is also one. So you want to really see where you land when you hear the word money, and be honest with yourself. This is for you, right? Something that we will need later on to be able to change this feeling into something more useful for us. Then the second question is, what do you feel when you see a large amount of money? When you see coming in your bank account, when you see coming in somebody else's bank account, when you see somebody receiving a lot of money, all these coaches on social media that they always show us how much they're making. Somebody winning the lottery, all these things. How do you feel when you see these large amounts moving into people's lives, specifically yours, if you had that experience, but also if you see it in somebody else's life? And then what do you feel when you touch cash? Actually take a dollar bill or whatever it is that you have and touch it and feel what is the main feeling that comes when I touch it. What do you feel when you spend money? So the next time that you go to the grocery store or wherever you're going and you spend money, what's the main feeling? The first one, are you fearful that they will not come back? Are you excited? Do you feel guilty? Are you angry? Do you feel powerful? You know, everybody's a different feeling, but try to see what's the main feeling for you. And what do you feel when you receive money? This is also very important. So the next time you get paid, you get tip, see what it is, that feeling that comes. And then I want you to look at this and reflect on what came up. And if you can, send me an email. If you have done this exercise, would be great. I would like to hear what came up for you. Or a DM on Instagram, that also works. And some common emotion: guilt, fear, shame, as I was saying, excitement mixed with anxiety though, unworthiness, and power. So if your nervous system cannot regulate the feeling of having money, you will subconsciously get rid of it. Money requires emotional capacity. You need to be able to stay still and move through those emotions when they come, and see them, feel them, and let them go. And then make decision from a place of neutrality. That's the goal, right? Once you have done this work, you will come to a place where no matter if $1 million enters in your bank account, you will feel okay. Because you trust yourself enough to know that it's good for you, because you make it from a place of neutrality. And because you understand how money works and how the flow of money works, and that you're just here to be a steward for it. You're just here to receive it and invest it and to create something, right? To invest in yourself so you can be more and you can create more. That's the journey of life. You can use it to have more impact. You can use it to help others. Ultimately, those are the reasons why abundance is given to you. Then people do all the things with abundance that we've seen it, what people in power do with that. But if you are in alignment, and that's probably why you're here listening to this, is because you care about growth, alignment, that you know that the final reason why you are given abundance to manage in this lifetime, because we only manage it, right? We don't carry anything with us in the other experience after death. So you can become a really good steward for your money, and you can benefit and others can benefit from you being a good steward for money. Then the mind blocks. And here is where I speak about the 4 layers of working with the mind, the first layers of consciousness. And this is where also most people get stuck. And when I say get stuck, I mean get stuck for life. Like they end their life without ever overcoming the mind tricks. So the first layer is you believe your thoughts, and that kind of life feel very anxious and very fearful. So you will hear you're anxious, you're bad with money, I always lose it. And again, fear and anxiety run the show here. Then there is the second layer of consciousness, the observer. So you realize that you are having thought. Thoughts are passing by your mind. There is awareness, and you start to separate your identity from your mental noise. You understand that you and the mind, you and the ego are 2 different beings. Then there is the third layer, the inner conflict, when you try to override your thoughts with affirmation, when you are in consistent conflict with your ego, with your mind. But underneath, even if you tell yourself affirmation and I'm abundant and I receive money, blah, 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 underneath what you really fear, is not desire. You have scarcity, not expansion. And this creates those self-sabotaging cycles that we were talking about before. When there is this inner conflict, where you antagonize your ego, your mind, because you haven't learned yet how to use it for your benefit, that's what it will show up in your life. And then there is the third layer, sovereign mind. So you use your mind intentionally. You redirect your thoughts, you question assumption, you choose empower interpretations, you build identity consciously. Your mind becomes a tool you use to serve you. That's when you really understand how useful having an ego and having a mind is, and you use it for your benefit to create what you want. So the mind is the passenger in your life, and you are the pilot. And then the last one is spiritual blocks, which are way more rare than people think, because a lot of people come to shamans, to ask to be spiritually released because they believe they have a curse or whatever it is. And sometimes it is true. We find things that were made in the spiritual without them being conscious of it, also sometimes being conscious. Because sometimes we say things and we think they don't matter, but actually words are spells, right? That's why it's called spelling, because whatever we say is a verbal contract that stay with us and is ingrained in our energy and in our body, literally, because we are water, and water, if you look at studies, is programmable with words. So whatever we think or we believe or we keep saying specifically about ourselves is what it actually is going to manifest in real life. So, but this small percentage, but very powerful if it's present, if that's really at the root of your scarcity and you not be able to obtain money, then it needs to be pulled, because it can block everything else, and everything else you do might not work because you have spiritual blocks. And again, that here we are not even speaking about the actual thing, we are speaking more about the belief behind it. So for some example, as I say, sometimes blocks are inherent belief system, literally. So for example, poverty vows, conscious or unconscious, whenever in the past you're giving away your power to specific companies, organization, religious organizations, and you decided that you weren't able to hold abundance because you were giving it to them, because they convince you that spirituality and money doesn't go together. Family narratives are of suffering. Money corrupts, rich people are greedy, right? Money is the root of all evil. Giving your power away to karma, of courses. So it's not even about having actually received a curse or running a karma cycle, but giving your power away to these beliefs that you are in these cycles. And blind loyalty to ancestral struggle. So knowing that your parents, your grandparents struggle a lot for you to have maybe the abundance that you have, or they always been struggling and you also are struggling because of that. That also can be a very strong belief that need to be removed to be able to tap into your abundance. And those things usually are done with spiritual healing. Yes, going to a shaman can be beneficial, or other way can be yourself learning about energy healing, about spiritual healing, and performing by being very careful some spiritual healing on yourself. Then there is an important distinction. Belief in something isn't the block. Giving your power away to it is a block. So you don't even need to be convinced that you are not cursed or you don't have ancestral unfortune about money. But being open that also something else might be real, that's the key. That's what is enough for you to be able to open up to a completely new reality for yourself. So if your story is making you powerless, it needs to be rewrite, right? So we need to change the story, that belief. So the shortcuts to all this, because I can give you a lot of tools to addressing one per one, and it's what I usually do with my clients when they come in my container, to be initiated and to do one-on-one work, because it's very specific for each client. There are courses that I also, or intensive that I do about money, but specifically each person had their own specific blockages, and they are very ingrained in all these layers that we talk about. So each one needs specific tools that address their blocks, their blockages. But if I were to give you one shortcut today to be able to melt them all, is presence. So if there is one thing that you can decide to invest your time in practicing, is presence. Because presence collapses all layers. All of this is void if you are able to show up and perform presence in your life. So when you're fully present, scarcity dissolves, fear softens, emotion regulates, the observer that we are talking about activates, power returns. So you start to really see life as an experience, as a movie, and you stop reacting to it. So presence interrupts anxiety loops, compulsive spending, avoidance, and hustle action. Also presence increases discernment, clarity, receiving capacity, decision-making power, and money flow best to regulate the nervous system. So the more you can practice presence with meditation, prayers, breath work, yoga, whatever it is that make you be present behind your eyes, right? At the top of your head, where your higher self is, in your heart. And make the mind and the thoughts just being things that pass by that you can observe. Emotion, same thing, things that you go through, they pass by, they give you a lesson, they give you a message, and then you let them go. If you can be a witness of all those things without being engaged and involved, and keep staying your sovereignty, that's where you make the best decision and all those layers collapse. So healing money blocks is about increasing capacity to receive, building safety in your body, reclaiming power about the fact that you are a creator and you decide, expanding identity. Money amplifies who you already are. So the work is becoming someone who can hold more. The work is always on an identity level. So if you would like more information and more ways to go deeper about this, I hope you received already a lot from this. There is a lot you can unpack just by being aware of all these things that we talk about. But here you can find my link tree where I always update it with my current offers, the events that I'm doing, the free resources, all my podcasts are there, my articles, social media, and then my website where you can find more about me, about my story, about the things that I'm working on. And then some of my social and my email, if you feel called to email me, I check it very often. And if you're interested in working together on these and many other things that may come up in your spiritual journey, in your life journey in general, and you need support, I'm opening up a couple of more spots. I guess is 3 left. If I'm not wrong, I have to check. It's 3 or 5 left for one-on-ones. So my one-on-ones are deep spiritual, emotional, mental, physical transformations. They goes for 3 to 6 months, depending on the client. And we can jump on a sales call and discuss more if it's something that is aligned for you. So just shoot me a message, a DM or an email, and I will be happy to set up a time so we can discuss if it's aligned. It's an investment that is in the middle four figures, and it's something that is completely transformative. And I've seen most of my clients going from either zero to 100,000 to millions of dollars. And so also on the practical, even if it's spiritual work for the most part, because that's what we're here to do, right, as humans. But it manifests in all the layers. So your relationship better, your confidence is better, the way you carry yourself, the way you show up in the world, the way you receive things, the way you manifest things, the way you just experience life, all better if you address those things that you need to evolve. Is a consciousness also evolution path where we go from where you are and I take you to where you want to be. And it's a lifetime transformation, meaning that once you learn how this thing works, once you learn these tools and you receive it and you actually embody, because you spend a lot of time with me in those containers, so I really not only teach you what it is, but actually have you practice it with me, then you have a continuous transformation that you can use for throughout all your life. So there is infinite expansion that you can do with those tools, and that's why it's still my favorite thing to teach and see people go through, because it's absolutely transformational. And so if you're happy to jump on a call and learn more about it, I'll be happy to share also the details. I always make sure that we are a fit for each other, since it's a very deep and quite also long journey. We're going to spend together 3 to 6 months, as I say. But I know that if we are the right fit to work with each other, it's going probably to be the most transformational things that you ever done in your life. And that's because I witnessed this happen with my clients. So I'm very thankful for you to be here, spending this time with me, and feel free to reach out. And if you have any question, also feel free to DM me, email me. I'm always one email or DM away. Bye.